Hey guys, welcome back. Today, as you know, I ordered the wrong refractory stuff, so today we're going to do a little experimenting with it. And I'm going to knock out a really quick forge. It's called a coffee can forge, which I don't know why, because coffee doesn't come in these no more. I actually had to buy a big can of hominy to get this. So we're going to do that, knock it out real quick, and see if I can salvage this purchase, because I'm not going to send it back. I'm stuck with it, and I don't know if this is going to work. What I'm doing is I found a recipe online for a refractory using Portland cement, plaster of Paris, and silica sand. But then I found that you really don't need the Portland cement. It's just there's a rigidizer, which is also what this stuff is. It's called metakaolin. I hope I'm saying that right. Metakaolin. Anyway, so that's what this stuff does. So I'm just cutting out the Portland part and using some plaster of Paris. So let's start making a coffee can forge and see if this stuff works. I hope it does. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we got to drill some holes in the big old can, and then I'm going to use these 3/8 inch nuts and bolts to make legs for it so it can stand up. So that's what's going to happen next. After that, I'll have to drill a hole, which will allow the handheld propane tank, the end of the torch, to put heat in. Then I'm going to be mixing up the plaster of Paris with metakaolin. I know I'm saying it wrong. My tongue don't work that way. And then I just got to let it set, and we will fire it. So let's start drilling holes in a can. No time lapse. We're going to do this in real time so we can chit chat. So the first thing we got to do is mark out our holes of where the legs are going to go. So let's open one of these up. You can pick these up for $1 a bag at Walmart, and yeah, they work pretty well. So here we go. This is obviously going to be the front. We want our legs to kind of go like so. So want a bit of an angle. We'll do it right about there. And say about there. I'm just freehanding all of this because this is more of an experiment than anything else. If it works, then I'll be able to finish my big gas forge. And yeah, so that's what I'm hoping. So you know what? I might have to change. Yeah, this drill bit's a little too big, so give me one sec. I gotta get a smaller drill. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack go under limbo stick. Welcome to Karaoke with Drew. There we go. So, let's drill a hole. Alright. This is why I need to get a workbench. I'm using an IKEA table. But one thing at a time. There's one hole drilled. Let's make sure it's the right size before we go drilling anything else. I'm finding out that it's too small or too big. It's a little too small, but that I can work with that. I can just put it in there and mess it around a little bit. Or I might have to go up almost so close. I think I could wedge that in there, which is fine because it's gonna get cast in plaster repairs anyway. Oh yeah, look at that. It's like I threaded it. How freaking cool is that? Thank you, Fate. Once again, Fate stepping in, giving me a hand. So, and there's the first leg. Let's do the other one. Everything I am doing is not safe, by the way. Don't do this yourself. I'm an idiot. Don't be like me. Here we go. No, no, no. That was probably a great sound, wasn't it? Now, put the other leg in. God, that's crazy how well that works. It's okay that they're a little loose because once I put the mixture of plaster of Paris in there with the metakaolin, however it's pronounced, you guys can Google it and tell me the proper way in the comments. But there's the first two legs. Now we just got to do two more. Now this I got to be a little bit more precise. So on my hole placement, because otherwise the legs won't sit right and it won't balance. So that's what we need. So as you see here, I'm using my high-tech tool. This is called a tube. And a tube is not a piece for a ruler, but I don't have a ruler. So yeah, how crazy is that? I don't have a ruler. I haven't had a ruler since high school, and I've been out of high school for a very, very long time. And part of me wishes that I knew how cheap this was to get started back when I was in high school, because then I'd have so much more years under my belt for experience, and you guys would have better content to watch, and etc, etc, etc. But you know, whatever, you're watching me, hopefully you're enjoying yourself, and maybe even learning a little bit too. These are not instructional videos at all. These are strictly just me learning to do stuff. So, you know, hey, it is what it is. There we go. Set that down. Hole. Open up second pack of bolts. You know how stupid I am? I forgot to check if they were the same size. I just grabbed two. You know how people don't put stuff back anywhere? That could have been bad. If it was severely important, but since it's not, uh-oh. Gotta make them a little bit bigger. Much better. And that was a little too loose. It's alright though. Once you put the plaster of Paris in there and it cures, which only takes about 20 or 30 minutes, So that's kind of cool. 15 if you got a hair dryer, which we all know I do, for my lovely, lovely beard. I think I might have messed up the angle on the back here, but that's okay. Like I said, this is more of an experiment than anything else. And look at that. That's there you go. That's one coffee can forge. My holes are a little off, so I have to drop this one down. And or maybe just make another hole. Yeah, you can see I need to move this one over just a bit. Let's do that. Da, 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 da. Horrible camera work. That got off. All right, you wee bastard. Now let's move it and see how it sits. Because with my precise measuring of the tube, it kind of offset the line, so maybe it wasn't so good. There we go. I'm happy with that. Like I said, we'll tighten up. Look at that. So now I gotta go back to my big drill bit and gotta drill a hole big enough for this. This tube's only purpose, besides measuring, is to put a port for the handheld propane inside of the refractory. So this way, when it's all mixed and dried up, I can just pull it out and everything, and I have a clean hole, and I'm not trying to drill through it, risking cracking or anything like that. So let me switch my bit. Look at them. Now we gotta look at you, walk away. Be nice if you had a shop, so you didn't have to do everything this way. I'm such a lovely singer. Yeah. Alright, so I think I'm gonna want it right about there. So yeah. Remember, safety. Safety, safety, safety. Don't be me. Oops. That's alright. Not a big deal. Well, crud. That's the biggest drill bit I got. So, let's do some more unsafe stuff. Ha! My bolt came off. Well, not my bolt, but my nut. Giggity. Let's see if that's big enough. Almost. So, I got a solution. If it don't fit, hammer it. I gotta do this gentle so I don't bend the can, which is gonna be the hard part. So what I could do is taper this just a bit on the concrete. So this way it'll slide in a little bit better. That's what she said. A little bit more. hands. Best thing to wipe your hands on when you're working. Although my wife wouldn't agree. Is this covered in plastic? It is. Why is this covered in plastic? That makes no sense at all. See, I thought this was aluminum tube, and it actually turned out to be some kind of very low-grade steel tube, so that worked out when I was cutting it. There we go. And let's give it a couple little lovey taps here. Alright. So that'll be when the plaster sets and I pull this out. That'll be the access point. And then this, kind of show you what's going on here. This is going to be the center. So I can remove that, and that's going to be the forging area there. With these coffee can forges, you don't want much bigger than that. But like I said, this is an experiment. So we're experimenting. So this part of it's done. This part of it is done. I don't know, I like to hit stuff. Might not be done. The next is it's mixing time. So let me tell you a little bit about, actually, let me just grab the camera here. We're about 14 minutes already, so I might time lapse the mix. Metakaolin has a big warning that you have to use a certain kind of respirator that has carbon in it and all that. So I went and I made sure that I got that. So the way I'm going to mix this is the way that I found the plaster of Paris and silica sand, which was 1:1. So that's what I'm going to do here. Is I'm going to do 1:1 and then mix it. And once it's mixed, we'll pour it in the can and we'll let it dry, and then we'll fire it up and see if it works. But if you watch this and it does work, and you say, hey, I want to do that, know that a bucket of this stuff is $60. This is not you can go much cheaper ways and better ways, because plaster of Paris as the bonding agent won't last long. But again, this is an experiment. And make sure you PPE. This stuff had so many warning labels all over it. So if you don't know, PPE, personal protective equipment. I got my masks, I got gloves, so that's about as good as I can get. And yeah, I'm gonna time lapse the mix for you, so because this video just hit 15 minutes. All right, let's time lapse mixing up. All right, so there we go. So the mix is all done. I just gotta let it set. It's already starting to set, which is kind of cool. But I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can see what it looks like. Then I'll see you in about an hour, my time. It's gonna be like that for you. So there it is. It's setting. It ain't pretty. It's my first time ever using plaster of Paris or anything like that, but the bolts are already firming up a little bit. Looks like it's just gonna come right off of the cardboard. Look at that, it's already setting. I like that. So we're gonna give this an hour. It says 10 to 15 minutes, but I wanna make sure it's thoroughly dry before I go throwing some flame up in there and have it explode on me because of a water pocket. So yeah, we're gonna let it sit for a bit. I'm gonna take it in the house, maybe hit it with a hairdryer or two to help the curing process. And in 3, 2, 1, ta-da! So it's done. It's cured. Not hard. So let's see if this thing works. Okay, so we got the torch going in there, and he's burning out what's left of the paper. Let's see here. Find out the temp on this bad boy. 432 degrees. Oh, 105. It might actually be working. So I'm just waiting for it to finish burning out the little bit of cardboard that's in there, and then we're gonna throw this in. It's been sitting outside. It's like 50 degrees today, so this is like 50 degrees. I'm going to throw it in there and see how long it takes to heat up. And if this stuff works, I just need to go buy a ton of plaster of Paris for my big forge. Let's find out. Okay, so it's about 20 minutes later, and I let the propane torch run the whole time. It just wasn't getting hotter, but I noticed a lot of steam, so I don't think it's fully cured, so I'm going to let it sit for a few days, and then we'll come back to it. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.